Okay, so we just did a radial gradient with the bug's eye. Now we're looking at a linear gradient. So this has been done with the linear gradient. And I'm looking at this antenna here, and it's got a deep orange on the bottom, and then it gets green on top, and there's this white highlight. Now, I'm not feeling positive that I'm going to be able to totally replicate that, but I think I can get something going on here that's a little better. So I've got my orange, a yellow middle ground, and this green, and I can play with these to make there be more orange taking up volume here. But I can also go in and edit my gradient. So I'm selected this gradient and I hit edit gradient and this bar shows up. Notice one end has a round end and this one has a rectangular end. So this rectangular one, I can stretch that and notice what's happening inside there, okay? The other thing I can do is if I hover over it, hovering, let's see, let me zoom it in a little bit more. If I hover just right, there I go. Oh. I gotta figure out that sweet spot. I am trying to get my rotation tool. You saw it, I just did. Oh, there I go. All right, so I seem to, if I slide over it a little, I get to it. Finding that sweet spot. Yeah. There, okay. And then I can pull it around and totally rotate it. Now I seem to be getting that rotation. All right, so now I'm gonna zoom out of this a little bit and rotate that, and then I'm going to pull it down back over here, okay? So, and I can play with these levels right on there. So you can see if I bring this green back down in there and bring this down, and that orange, you can see how it's starting to affect what's going on in there. So that's getting closer. If I rotate, I think that's too much, but right there, that's kind of imitating. I mean, I think this is not perfect, but I think this tool is really quite impressive, and I'm happy with that. Okay, so I'm gonna move that back down there and leave that there, and I will send it to the back so it's behind that eyeball. Now, right here, this shape, I had experimented earlier with this shape, trying an outline, and I don't like the way that looks. I'm going to copy and paste. I like to, when I've drawn something, I like to keep a copy of it in case I ruin it and want to start back again. So I am going to try to create what's going on here. And the first thing I need to do is make this a closed shape. So I'm going to go back to the pen tool. And I'm going to click on that end point there, make another point, and click on this end point here. Now, I am going to, this time, do this type of gradient. And this type of gradient lets me put points anywhere I want. And I can just add a point. And each time I add a point, I can click on it and change that color. So one of the things I find a bit annoying is that this color bar shows up right on top of what you're working on, so it's hard to look. But actually what I'm copying is what's over here. So I'm looking at this, and this is this intense green over there. So I'm going to pull back on that magenta, don't need much black, and pump up the cyan a bit and some more yellow. And that one's good. Over here, it's getting a little bit lighter. So I'm going to click on this, pull back that black, pull back the magenta, and I think I'm going to pull back both the yellow and the green to get a little bit more green, I mean cyan, to get a little more whiteness in there. Okay. Now I'm going to click on this one, and that is actually similar in color to that. So again, bring back the magenta and the black, bring back the yellow, but I'm going to leave a little more yellow in this one. Yeah, I think that looks a little more cyan. And now I'm going to pick this one, which seems to be cyan, and a lot less yellow, more cyan. So you can look at what I'm imitating here. So let me grab this tool to bring it back over here to look at it in comparison. Over here. So it feels a little duller. It's getting a little muddy in here. So what are the things I could do is I could go in and add another spot. So maybe I want to put a dot here and make this dot a really strong green. And pull back on that. There, I think that made a change. So, you know, that doesn't look just like that, but it looks pretty cool if you ask me. I've got a dot here that I think I accidentally put that there. I'm going to delete there and bring this one out. And I think click on this and lighten this one a bit. Looks a little muddy. There's a little black that got in there. And I think that, oh, you know what it is? There's a spot here. I'm going to just delete that spot right there. Okay, so I'll pull that back, and I'm pretty happy with that. Now I still have this white outline, which I don't need here, so I can go up to my palette and select this shape, and that outline, I will put that through it. And then I can go over